Hey, you guys, Discover Your Business Destiny. The book is out, and these are the prayers and declarations that you will find in section 2, chapter 8. I'm just going to read them through. This is out of the table of contents because all of these are important for your business. Okay, your business destiny. The 3 areas there: trust in the process and dedicate it to God, clarity of vision and Holy Spirit leading, increased impact and seeding the mandate. The next section, self as a business owner. What are your mindsets? Are you capable? Your value and your worth and your discipline. Expanded consciousness and capacity. And of course, we're talking about having the mind of Christ here. Health, family life balance and blessing, and declarations. Here we have the next section is clients, customers, and audience, more of them, blessing them and attracting the right ones. The next section, finances and resources, heavenly abundance, proper stewardship and nurturing, protection, including legal and insurance. We don't often think about those, and especially we don't think about praying over them until there's a problem. All right, next section, creativity and solutions. Plenty, endless source, and ease of flow, unique and distinctive. What makes you, you, and your business it. Strategies and tactics to get results. Next section, operations and technology, marketing and sales, and delivery and distribution, administrative systems and processes. Relationships, rapport, and influence, theme, including angelic help, connections and opportunities, communication, negotiation, and money conversations. Ooh, that's a good one to pray over. Conflict resolution and boundaries, love, joy, and peace. And then the last section in chapter 8 is bonus prayers and declarations when your business is stuck or under attack. The prayer to accept Jesus as your Savior and Lord, that is imperative that it would be in my book. Daily cleansing and blessing everything you put in or on your body. All of that is in the prayers and declarations section 2.
Welcome to the Spirit-Centered Business Podcast, where we blend the spiritual with the practical for supernatural results. Now, here is your host, Bralynn Newby.
Hello there, world changers. Look who is in the house. He almost needs no introduction. This is Gil Hodges. And Gil, this is going to be an awesome conversation we're going to have. Let me just take care of a little bit of housekeeping. My book is out, you guys. Drum roll. Everybody who's been following me knows that it's been a process to get this thing done. But it is done and it's available, and you can go to spiritcenteredbusiness.com and pick it up. It's also available on Amazon and Lulu for those of you who are boycotting Amazon. I get it. Okay. Gil, you have a book coming out and we need to catch up, and you've been doing so much, and oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Do the show.
Shift happens. Yep.
Shift happens. Exactly. So this is the first time you've been on Spirit Centered Business, even though I am pressing into at the turn of the year is going to be 5 years. Can you believe it?
That is amazing. Yeah.
I know, and you've never been on, and I know that it's not for lack of trying on both of our parts. I mean, we've just kind of been missing each other. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here now.
Good to be here. I think we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, we will. So you guys, so a little bit of history. Gil and I kind of stepped into the heavenly realms together. We were on the same timeline and in the same rooms, in the same living rooms, right? With the Doc Mouse Project with Larry and Lori Hill. They're just amazing. And then you guys, Kingdom Equipping Center started from there, and I was there with you when you started that at Impact Church in Roseville. Remember that way back then?
That was way back then.
Exactly. And we moved around to different churches, and in all of that, we also borrowed the church, the Rock of Roseville, and had a conference with Robert Henderson. And that's the first time that we started learning about the courts of heaven. And you guys then ran with that, and you were teaching it. And so we were doing courts of heaven stuff. And then we got introduced to Christopher Carter and stepping into heavenly realms in a new way. So, I mean, my story is your story as far as
Yeah, yeah. And Kingdom Talks took off in that 5-year period as well. And
Yeah.
you were a big part of that and instrumental and co-hosting, and we just had a good time. It was a really, really good season. It was fun.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good season. So we started Kingdom Talks in what, 18?
Yeah,
Was it
October.
October?
Well, I started it in October of 2018, and
Mhm.
it became a thing by January, February of 2019. And I think
Yeah.
somewhere in there, that's when you started helping out, and might have been a little bit before that, but because when I started it, I didn't know it was going to be a thing. I just did a couple of Facebook lives and had fun and kept doing it. And like I said, by January, February of 2019, it became a thing.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Took
so
off.
good. And I think that I've got about almost exactly 100 episodes of Kingdom Talks.
Yeah, yeah.
So you were really cranking them out. Are you still 3 times a week?
I do know, and I do not have all my videos on YouTube, and I think there's like 800 and some on there. I
Oh,
know I have over
wow.
1,000 altogether.
Wow.
So yeah, we were cranking them out, and I just enjoy it. And I've got another podcast now that we'll talk about here shortly, but AI
Sure.
innovators, and I've got innovators from the AI arena that I'm interviewing, which I got an interesting one that actually airs. We're recording on a Tuesday. It airs in a few hours here. So,
Oh, wow.
and it's
Okay,
and it's
cool.
with the gentleman who is accredited with the coining the phrase AGI, artificial general intelligence. And
Interesting.
yeah, he is an interesting guy.
Oh,
Good,
cool.
gonna learn a lot. But anyway, yeah, I'm enjoying the podcast.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, I've enjoyed it over the years too. I love just meeting new people or highlighting clients or friends or how whatever the Lord brings. I believe that it's all really good and relevant, and it's just fun doing the show. And I have another podcast too. I think that you may not know. It's called The Nth Degree, and we're into our second year with that one too, weekly
Cool.
show. And where we take intimacy with the Father and pressing into the mysteries to the nth degree with Newby
Hmm.
and Nieper.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, that one we don't have guests on that one. It's just Donna Nieper and I, and we were having such good conversations. We just sharpen iron together. And so we just said, you know what? Other people would want to listen to this. And so we just started recording our
Yeah, yeah, and I've done
conversations.
that a few times as well. It's fun.
Yeah, yeah, it's been good. So since then, though, I know that you have stepped back into business, but I do want to get a little bit before, because I know that you were doing some executive coaching even back when I was in California with you, even
Yeah.
so let's talk a little bit about that and how your faith blended in back
Okay.
then and then now what
So
you're doing now.
I'll give a quick rundown. I think a lot of people already know my story, but if they don't, they can go find it on Kingdom Talk somewhere. But they let's see. I spent the first 7 years as a pastor full time, and then in 2001 I shifted into business for 17 years, and in that 17-year period I had 15 businesses and 5 corporations. I also went through all these coaching courses and all that back then, got certified as a business coach. But for me, as I looked at it, it was not going to allow me to reach my financial goals and other goals that I had. So I did not focus on that as much. And so, yeah, when you and I met, the ministry was taking off. I was shifting back into ministry. And so I was in basically full-time ministry from 2017 until just recently. And just recently felt like Father's opening up the doors to go back into business. And it's a new season with all the AI technology coming out. And,
It is.
I have a different perspective on it than a lot of people, because a lot of people, especially in the Christian realm, feel like it's might be the devil himself or something, but or the devil's behind it. But at the same time, currently right now, it is still only a tool. And, just like Christians, lost their voice in the political arena and the business arena and the educational
Well,
arena because they
yeah,
ran from it.
right.
We don't want to do the same thing with this. We want to make sure our voice is part of the education of the AI that's coming. It's going to be really important. So anyway, that's a short rundown of where
No,
I'm at.
that's really good, and that's going to be a great conversation that I want to get into with you. But let me come back to all of the 17 businesses and 5 corporations and all of that. Tell me, how was your spirituality blended into those again? I didn't know you well, actually, the first time I met you was at, I think it was the masters
Probably.
meeting, right? Which
Yeah,
is which is business, of course.
right. Christians in business. Yeah,
Yeah, but I didn't really know. I didn't know you, right?
right.
So,
Yeah.
were you blending faith at that time into your businesses?
Yeah. So I always have. I mean, I did go through a season, and again, it's part of my story where I was just so I felt like God was so against me that I determined that I would rather believe there is no God than a God that hates me that much. Well, since then I've learned a lot and understand what, better what was going on then. And I've fully come back. And so, yeah, by the time you met me, I was fully back on and was, walking my faith in business and doing the same now. Again, it's been a journey and I have shifted tremendously. And my book coming out is called Choice, and it's like I reserve the right to choose to switch and shift if I need to. And for me, that's always done in conjunction with engaging with the Father in the heavens to
That's
see what
good.
he's doing and where he wants me to go. But it's like I'm about to make a public statement and share my views, which are really probably different, quite different than most people when I look at AI. And is it something from God or is it not? Fact is, we don't know. But
Well, the fact is both.
yeah, well,
I literally, I was having a conversation where you could totally have a demonic take on it
sure,
when all of a sudden it said something, and I was just hit with, wow, this is Holy Spirit. This
yeah,
is this is the angelic or the heavenly realm trying to give me a message, and it used AI to do it. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's right. Only 1/3 of the angels fell. That's right. We got 2/3
right,
for us.
right. Yeah, and so my point being that, you know, I've had many conversations with Father, and I feel full on that at this point I am supposed to do what I'm doing, which is, consulting, helping businesses integrate AI and so
Mhm,
forth. And there may come a time where Father says, "Okay, now's the time to get out."
right,
That time might come. It might come, but at
mhm,
the same time, two things. Number one, I believe that God is absolutely big enough, strong enough, powerful enough to take AI down if he wants to. If it's not meant to happen, he can take it down.
mhm.
And number two, who's to say that it's not part of his plan? Because, you know, again, Christians are so famous for having their projected ideas of what they think is correct and right,
Mhm.
only to find out that, especially in history, that oh no, that wasn't the devil either, or either that wasn't the beast or the antichrist either. So all these things that come up, and unfortunately, we're so based in a fear mentality, and it's so the opposite of God. I mean, God is love, and love casts out all fear. So it's just amazing to me that we need to be able to hold these things loosely,
Mhm.
move forward, and just listen for what Father's doing, and do that. Not get so caught up in what we think is right that we're trying to destroy and take down something that He may be using to take us to the next level, whatever that
Mhm.
means and whatever that looks like.
Yeah, and I think that even the word itself is an indicator, because it's artificial intelligence. And so it's not artificial sentience.
Right.
Different, so it tells you this is about finding information and assimilating information, compiling information that's already out there. It's not thinking for itself. It's just using in intelligence to compile information in potentially a way that isn't around, isn't in there. So, I mean, let's say pulling from 1,000 blog posts to create one blog post that isn't like any of the other 1,000 is
Well,
just one example,
yeah. And we do the same thing. It's like, your book that you've just written, my book that I've just written, guarantee you both books were highly influenced by our experiences and by other people and by other things that have happened in our lives. And we pull all that together to put it together in our fashion and in our way. And AI does some of the same because it's got tons of information that it pulls from,
Right.
and it will bring it together in a specific fashion for the prompt that you gave it, and you can change the prompt a little bit and it'll give you something a little bit different.
Hmm.
So but the thing is, it's not going to do anything without us prompting it to do it.
Hmm. Or
So someone prompting it, yeah.
someone
Yeah, so
probably,
it's got to
yeah.
be told, you got to let it know what you want,
Right.
and then it will do its best to create it. But at the same time, it's not sentient, it doesn't have a soul. In fact, it
Hmm.
doesn't have a clue what it's doing. It really doesn't.
Hmm.
Anyway, I could get off into
Yeah.
the technical parts of it, and just but it's like it's not sentient, it's not got a soul. Now, will there be programs that come along in the future that begin to mimic that and mimic it so well that we can't tell the difference? That's I would even go as far as to say it's
Yeah.
likely.
Hmm.
Unless Father says, "Nope, we're pulling the plug," and all he has to do is send a solar flare, and that would pretty much pull the plug on everything. And we are 100 years overdue. I mean, we're not 100 years overdue. We're like 60. Well, we're coming up on 100 years overdue for a major solar flare, which would literally take
Yeah.
out probably 80-90% of our electrical infrastructure.
Yeah.
It would
Wow.
be a little apocalyptic for us because we wouldn't have our computers. We wouldn't even have lights in most places.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's got his ace in the hole.
Yeah, he does. The part that is disconcerting, I'm not necessarily fearful because I don't know, it's still pretty out there. Is when they put the robots, and then a nefarious human is programming the robots. And if you've seen some of the things that those robots can do, I mean, they break dance and do parkour, and it's like
Mhm,
there's no more little
mhm.
tin can that falls over and can't get back up. That's way a
No,
thing
these are way
past.
beyond that, and it's
Right.
real. I mean, just
It's
you can Google it.
absolutely real. So, but it's still a person that's programming it. And so
Right.
I guess if we're just praying for truth to be revealed on the earth, and God's will to be done on earth as it is in heaven, then we would be praying against the nefarious forces that would cause those kinds of things that potentially AI is controlling as well. It's really about the Lord to capture their heart,
Yeah.
right? And it's not like, oh, you need to do this or else. It's more pleading for the case of restoring this this lost soul to the
Yeah.
Father, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and
Mhm.
and that would shift it over into my book on choice, is
There
that
you go.
yeah, I'm my book on choice is kind of what I feel is my legacy that I'd want to leave.
Sure.
That if the world were to shift and just begin to do these things, number one, recognize their authority and power of choice. Choice is the most powerful thing in the universe next to God,
Hmm.
and he's the one who gave it. Why did he give it? Because there can be no love without choice, without freedom.
Without the freedom
And
to do that.
so what he's done is he has literally given us the power to resist him. He's given us the power and the ability, the right and the authority to resist him for eternity. That's what he's given to us.
Hmm.
And
Not,
what's that?
or not. Not
Or
don't
not.
resist him,
Well, see,
right?
and then here's the caveat. This is the cool thing. It's like, but God is love, and love never fails. So you put those two together and you begin to look at it, and you realize, wow, he's going to pursue us.
He's gonna, that's Jehovah Kana, I think. He's relentlessly pursuing the jealous God.
Exactly.
Relentless. When does love give up? Like it doesn't, right?
Exactly. And so the fact that he gave choice, my question is, okay, when does he take it away? When does he say, oh, enough is enough? I don't want love to be a factor anymore. I'm taking choice away. And then at that point, it's like, what's the point? Anyway, I don't want to go down into those roads.
Yeah, right.
There's that my book covers a lot of it, but it's just, to me, it's the beauty of understanding that we have the power of choice. And once we wake up to that and
Mhm.
we begin exercising that power of choice, the person, that nefarious person that you were talking about, if everyone could realize that, honestly, if we all knew that we were loved, absolutely loved unconditionally, the reason people do bad things is because they've had bad things done to them, and or they've just never felt loved. And so they're trying to make their way in the world the only way they know how.
Right.
And so, yeah, we have a responsibility to show the world how to love and how to love well. And this AI, right now, it's a little baby. And what do babies learn? They learn from their parents, values, and the things that are important. And right now, this AI is a little baby, and we need to be teaching it good values. And unfortunately, when it goes out to the internet, what does it find? It'll see a tweet by somebody. I'll just throw out a name that everybody knows. Trump makes a tweet. Next person says, "Oh, well, I hate you." The next person says, "Well, I hate you because you hate him." And
Yeah,
it's like, oh my goodness, what are we teaching it?
yeah.
And what is the maturity of the people that are out there? When we understand that we have the ability and the power to choose, and that choice does have an influence on everybody and everything, and including yourself, why not start taking power and authority and choosing the good things, choosing the good life? That I spend a lot of chapters on the good life, and then a dash with different areas of how you can choose the good life.
That's good.
Anyway, it
I
will
love that.
change the
No,
world if people did it.
yeah, and it's funny. I think about the first times that I was picking up the Chat GPT, and I was like, describe how to interact with the seven spirits of God. I would just give it weird and it came
Yeah.
back with plausible, you know,
Yeah.
information, and I'm like, okay, so you're getting this from somewhere. So truth is out there.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing is, if it's been written out there and it picked it up before 2020 or September 21, then it's going to be in that stuff. Now, also with the ChatGPT 4, you can add the plugins, and then it'll go out to the internet, and so you can find current stuff. And it's pretty amazing. There's just one free application called perplexity.ai. I don't know
Oh
if you've
yeah.
used it before, but
Uh-uh.
perplexity.ai is just a search engine, but it will go out and search, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 sites and come back and give you a summary of what you just asked for.
Nice.
And so you could go out there and you could ask it and just say, tell me about Bralynn Newby. And you'll be amazed, because whatever you've got out there on the internet, it will give you a summary of who you are.
Yeah.
And now the thing is, that one especially, all the AIs have this problem right now. It's called hallucination. The generative, the GPT stands for generative pre-trained transformers. And
Interesting. I didn't know that.
yeah, so they generate stuff pre-trained on all this data, but they generate
Oh,
stuff. And it's
yeah.
actually word by word that it will simply predict what word should come next. And boggles my mind to think about. It's taken all the trillions of data points and it's picking what it thinks should be the next word, and it puts it together. Now, with Perplexity, it's going out to the internet and doing the same thing. So if there's another Bralynn Newby, it's likely to
It'll-
mix the two of you together. And the
Sure.
thing is, all of them will tell you as if they know exactly what they're talking about.
Right.
And you'll find out, when you fact check it, you'll find out, oh, that's not right at all. And you
Right.
especially find out when you do it on yourself. I
And
can do it on myself, and it does the same thing.
Yeah, because Gil Hodges is a baseball player, right?
Right. Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I was thinking, I did get some responses back when you ask it about how do I present a case in the courts of heaven? And it will say stuff like, it will couch the language in, some Christians believe that this is, and it's always like, but make sure that you verify and ask, verify what against scripture what this is, or ask the Father or something. So some things I'm like, some it's taking a lot of programming from the people who are maybe against a topic and couching it together in with the things that are
Yeah.
for a topic. You see what I'm saying? And it's
Mhm.
having this opinion of, I'm neutral here, but this is what people have been saying,
Right. Yeah, it does do a fairly good job of trying to be neutral, but
Mhm.
it's kind of hard. But yeah, I tell everybody, whatever you do, make sure you fact check it, because we'll
And
make
careful
stuff
with
up.
fact checkers, like don't use Snopes
Yeah.
or something that's, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So another one that I have found helpful, if I can feed it the right information, I've had a problem getting the right information to feed it, is the Opus. I don't know what it's called, opus.pro. It's the one where you can feed it like an hour long video, and it will take out snips, like 30 to
Oh,
90
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
snips, just to
Mhm.
like put on social media or something, because I don't do social media myself, but my team does that. But it would be helpful if I could put in something like that, so that I could give them, this
Yeah.
plethora.
Well, one of the things we've done on AI innovators.ai, so that's the website, is AI
The AI
innovators.
innovators.ai, and I will definitely put it in the show notes for all of you
Yeah.
guys listening or watching, wherever you're watching, watch the show notes for this. Okay, go.
So what we've done there is number one, we've got some courses there that are just real basic to help, the beginner to get on. If it's beyond that right now, call me, because I'm doing the consultation to help people, help businesses integrate this. But the other section that's really valuable to a lot of people is the tool section. We've got a lot of tools in there that we have vetted, for ourselves, and that we're using. So what you just said, one of the things I would encourage people to look at is Descript. I don't know.
Descript, thank you.
Descript is a video editor that is totally going to twist you around if you are used to Adobe Premiere, or any of the normal way of editing. It edits by text, and it's really incredible. But the thing is, you can go in and so rather than, because I've tried some Opus Pro, I thought I'd heard it before, and it might be that one that I tried, but I tried one like it, and it randomly threw clips together, which out of 10 maybe I might find one that I'd like and use. But with Descript, you can go in and just say, I like this section. You just highlight it, and you can tell it that you want to make a short,
Hmm.
and it's like, boom, there you go. And it's
Very cool.
it's a little bit painful to learn, but once you learn it, it's like, oh, this is crazy. This is crazy good.
Yeah.
And
And audience, Gil is a techie, total techie. When we first started Kingdom Talks, he was like, oh, let's do um what's it called, the open source, that made the frame around the videos, and we were running it through there to go live. I just lost the
OBS.
OBS. Yes, exactly.
Yes,
And
yes.
like, and he tried to teach me to learn it, and I'm like, okay, got it. And then one little thing went wrong, and I'm like, Gil.
Yeah, I
So
still use
that's the
OBS. I like
person
it.
to teach you tech if you need it. Gil knows tech.
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. So it's
Yeah,
it's fun for me.
that's
So,
cool. That's very cool. Oh my gosh. Anything else going on with Kingdom Talks before we jump? Let's finish out Kingdom Talks in this segment, and then when we go to the next segment, I want to find out all about the coaching and the new business stuff that you're doing and everything. But anything on Kingdom Talks that you want to shout out?
uh, well, I mean, we've been going for a solid 5 years. I think we've missed maybe one or two shows due to technical glitches or whatever might have happened, which to me
Amazing.
is quite amazing that that's all we ever missed. Um, and so yeah, it's still going, and I still plan to have it keep going. And I've got, Jerry Bryant. He does some of the shows for me right now. He steps in, and
I just had him
Michael
on the
King.
show.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I love Jerry.
And
Uh,
Michael.
Michael King.
Oh, okay.
He's actually local here in Austin.
Okay.
We met in Portland. It's funny because we met in Portland at a Nancy Cohen, when Nancy Cohen and Yolanda was out there,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Darla and Yolanda.
Carla and Yana.
Yana, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I know what
Um,
you
but yeah, so we met out there, which was kind of ironic. And then now we both find out we're here in Austin,
Oh, cool.
and so yeah, he's a great guy. I've loved having him come in and help out, and he's been really helpful. So yeah, we're here in Austin, so that's new for some people.
And you have a grandbaby, and this
We
is
have a
why you
grandbaby.
moved
That's
to
why we
Austin.
are in Austin.
Exactly. That's exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
How's she doing?
Oh, she just started walking, so it's been so fun. And
Oh,
she's a sport, man. She just goes after life. She's just
yeah.
turned 1. But yeah, so that's why we're here. We moved down
Mm-hmm.
here for that. And we've thought about trying to build a local community here, and it's, it's just one of those things. It's like, okay, Father, if you want this, then bring the people. And it hasn't really happened, which in some ways it's like that's a stress relief. I would love to do it, but it is a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got Kingdom Equipping Center, the gathering every Sunday morning. That still happens. That's been going for, wow, well, that's been going for 8 years, over 8 years. Kingdom Equipping
Yeah.
Center.
And
Yeah.
I mean, in person first. It wasn't
Right.
on Sunday mornings, but yeah, in person, and then live streaming it. And
When COVID hit, we kind of went to live streaming and
well,
went to
even
our,
before, we were still live streaming it.
yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we got some of our connections, which is some interesting stories.
I know. Yeah, exactly. It was so cool.
Yeah.
That was an interesting time of our history, that a lot of people who are stepping out of the church age and into kingdom age didn't have what we had. And so I honor you very much for putting that all together and making that happen. So it wasn't really a church, it was a gathering, and it was a place to explore and discover. So
And freedom.
thank you. And freedom. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So that's on Sunday mornings if people want to jump on to
Right. So
kingdomequippingcenter.com.
yeah,
Okay.
kingdomequippingcenter.com.
Yeah.
Go there. There's a community tab, and it gives you
Okay.
all the ways you can get on. So you can be on Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, and some others that I don't even know about.
Right. Yeah, I know. I'm on so many. I get it. You're on Fringe Radio Network. So you're
I don't know that we're on there anymore, but live, I know
okay.
we're on Twitch. We might even be on TikTok. I don't even know. Somebody set all
Yeah.
that stuff out.
Yeah.
I've never even seen it on any of them. So
Yeah, I
I
know.
don't know how it looks or how it works. So somebody else set it up.
That's awesome. Thank you, Lord, for somebody else.
Right.
That's terrific. Okay, so do you still have Kingdom Talks Media? Are you still hosting
Yes.
other shows on there? Or
Yes and no. So that is kingdomtalksmedia.com is where the videos have been hosted on a website.
Mhm.
Because you never know with Facebook and YouTube if you're going to get blocked or something.
Right,
And
right.
so I'd moved it all over there just in case. But we've kind of backed off of some of the, which you might call the extreme stuff that Facebook and YouTube would have maybe canned us for.
Yeah.
uh, we've really just kind of we jumped way out in front, so to speak, in this spiritual mystic movement, and then just some things for us, brought us to a place where we were like, we didn't feel comfortable with the direction that everything was going, and so we began to pull back to find where Father wanted us to focus.
Right.
And
That's
for
good.
what Father wanted us to focus on was to help people get out of the box, help people
Mhm.
get out of the church box,
Mhm.
and then but to realize there's so many different freedoms, but that Jesus is still the way,
Yeah.
and that and that there's nothing that turns that around. And so we've had our 3 plumb lines that we worked from for forever, which was number 1, Jesus is the way, number
Yep.
2, love, honor, and respect, and number 3, ask the Father.
Ask the
And those are
Father.
still our 3 main plumb lines. But I've adopted two other plumb lines, which to me kind of supersede the other three. I don't know if you supersede is the right word, but I would say it's an umbrella that's even over them. And it's just two very simple ones. And we're not going to get into it because it's funny. I've mentioned this in groups that we've had, and this is what I say. I'm going to say two things, and I know that everybody here is going to agree until we dig in. These are the two things. The two things are, number one, God is all powerful. Almost every Christian would say, yeah. And then the second one is God is all love. Those two things. And it's like, everybody's like, yeah. And then my book choice.
I can see where that would be, where you're going with that though. Yeah.
So the book
good,
choice really digs into all of that. And I think, I just feel Father really blessed me to bring out some analogies, some points, some really strong arguments that to me they seal the case. But there's always other points of view, so I honor that. I honor that. But it's like game over. If you really believe that God is all powerful and you really believe that He is love, game over.
Yeah,
you can rest assured.
Yeah, and I mean, that conversation I'm sure that you've had is that He is all powerful. However, He has given us stewardship.
Yeah. There's a zillion different directions we could go with it. And that's what my book is about. So it's like,
good.
It's a deep subject. And
so people can get your book on.
It'll be on Amazon. It's not released yet. It'll be released probably October 15, maybe 18th, somewhere around there. I do have a new group on Facebook that I have got set up just for the book, so that people, there's going to be a few people that I'll probably get a copy to for free up front, and have them read it in order to do a review and so forth on Amazon. So this just kind of got to be the agreement that they're willing to do that. And so anyway, I'm excited about it. I am really super excited about it. The people that have read it have given me some wonderful feedback, and I'm like, it really does warm my heart, because like I said, to me, it's a legacy. It's one of those things that's like, wow, if people really began to believe this way and understand their power of choice, it really is game over. It's like we can all relax and rest, and knowing that it will all be okay. No matter how rough it may get, it will be all okay. And it doesn't mean that we don't have our challenges. We will have our challenges, but it will.
Yeah, and that we don't have work to do.
Right.
There's freedom that we have to do in our own lives and in our bloodline. The buck can stop here, and we can be the ones that finally set our bloodline free.
Absolutely.
There's work to be done, but I understand where you're going as far as having that assurance and that confidence and that trust, really. Trust. Really, God's got it. He's got a good plan for my life, which is, my book, Discover Your Business Destiny. So it's that He has a good plan for your business as well as your life.
Yeah. I mean, it literally is all good. And if people could really understand that, there's like, yes, there's work to do. Yes, there's choices to make. Yes, there's going to be challenges that we're going to face. Yes to pretty much all that. But just to know He wins. And when He wins, you win.
I have a phrase that I have started to teach myself to say when I mess up or find something wrong. Here it is, Gil. You ready?
I'm ready.
Oops. That's all you need to do. You don't need to make up stories about it. You don't need to make up stories about your value and your worth.
So good.
And nobody loves me and all. It's just, oops. Okay.
That is so good, because and I talk about it in my book a little bit about I don't have any regrets about the things I've gone through. I don't have any regrets. Those were all opportunities for me to choose to love well. And that's bottom line, is we get to the point where we always choose love, whatever that looks like. But that, through all that, I'm going to choose love. Actually, I forgot my point that I was going to make, but what did you just say? You were talking about
Oops. You don't have to
oops.
make up
Oh, yeah,
stories
yeah,
about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in the end, I do feel a responsibility to go back and to make amends with where my oops hurt other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, I do not need to beat myself up.
Right.
And so just to realize, made a mistake. Okay, what do I learn from it? All right, let's,
Mhm.
if necessary, let's do that again. Let's do it differently,
Right.
or let's just not do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Well, this has been so good. So good to catch up with you. So good to hear your story and everything. I'm looking forward to the next segment, which for the audience will be next week, and for you and I, it'll be in a couple minutes. But where you're going to be talking about what you're into now and your coaching and your business and more about AI and all of that. So you guys make sure that you follow the links that we have in the show notes to get a hold of Gil's book, get a hold of him, to join Kingdom Equipping Center on Sunday mornings, to join. Are you still doing Ultimate Impact? Are you still doing Ecclesia
Oh,
group?
yeah. Yeah. In fact, we
Yeah,
just had
okay.
one start today.
Okay, there you go. So you find it all on either kingdomequippingcenter.com or kingdomtalksmedia.com, correct?
Correct.
And both of those links will be in the show notes. All right, Gil, thank you again. This is so good to have you on. Why did we wait this long? Oh gosh.
Been busy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, you guys, until next time, stay spirit-centered. Peace out. Hey there, SCB peeps. I want to give a huge shout out and deep appreciation and thanks to Candace Benton. She has become a super sponsor for the Spirit Centered Business Show. So I would appreciate you helping me in sending blessings and abundance back to her. Thank you so much, Candace, and you are well loved.
Thank you for listening to Spirit Centered Business with Bralynn Newby. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. The next stage of doing business by being spirit-centered is coming together in collaboration, working with spiritual principles, and knowing our destiny. Join our tribe at spiritcenteredbusiness.com, and we'll catch you on the next broadcast. Peace out.